Most people think conversations are about exchanging ideas, but that's a lie. Conversations are a battlefield, and if you don't control them, someone else will. Think about it. Ever walked away from a discussion feeling like you lost, even though you didn't argue? Ever agreed to something you didn't want to? Ever felt like someone subtly twisted your words, leaving you powerless? That's because influence isn't about talking louder. It's about controlling the flow of dialogue without the other person even realizing. From CEOs to politicians, master manipulators use simple but devastating techniques to steer conversations in their favor. And if you don't understand these techniques, you're being controlled every single day. This is where Stoicism comes in, not just as a philosophy, but as a weapon. The Stoics knew that true power wasn't in forcing others to obey, but in guiding their thoughts without resistance. In this breakdown, I'll teach you the hidden tactics that allow you to steer conversations, assert dominance, and never be verbally outmaneuvered again. Let's start with the first and most important rule of conversation control. Whoever defines the frame controls the game. Part 1. Control the frame. Shape the reality. The person who controls the frame controls the entire conversation. The frame is more than just words. It's the underlying context, the unspoken rules that dictate how people react to you. Influence isn't about talking the most. It's about setting the stage so that others naturally respond on your terms. Picture this. You step into a room where everyone assumes you're the authority. Even without saying much, people instinctively value your opinion. But if they see you as inexperienced, you'll find yourself constantly trying to prove your worth. The difference? It's not in what you say. It's in the frame you establish before the conversation even begins. This is why powerful people never let others define them. They project certainty, setting the tone before anyone else gets a chance to impose their own narrative. Take a job interview. If the interviewer holds the frame, you're the one trying to prove your worth. But if you subtly shift the dynamic by speaking as though you're assessing whether the company is a good fit for you, suddenly, they're the ones trying to win you over. The entire energy of the conversation flips in your favor. Marcus Aurelius understood this well. He knew that reality is often a matter of perception, and the person who masters their own perspective cannot be easily manipulated. By controlling your internal frame, your emotions, your responses, you make it nearly impossible for others to throw you off balance. Next time someone challenges you, don't get defensive. Instead, calmly reframe their statement in a way that works to your advantage. If someone says, "You don't have enough experience," respond with, "That's exactly why I bring fresh ideas and adaptability." Shift the frame, and you shift the power. Part 2. The power of strategic silence. Most people are terrified of silence. They rush to fill it, blurting out thoughts just to avoid discomfort. But those who truly understand control know that silence is a weapon. Picture a negotiation. Two people sit across the table. One makes an offer, and then silence. The other person shifts in their chair, feeling the weight of the pause. They start second-guessing, maybe even lowering their offer just to break the tension. The one who holds their silence longest wins. This is how powerful figures operate. They don't waste words. They don't explain themselves unnecessarily. They let others talk themselves into submission. Seneca, one of the greatest Stoic minds, knew this well. He believed that unnecessary speech was a sign of an undisciplined mind. The more you talk, the more you reveal your fears, your weaknesses, your insecurities. But when you master silence, you force others to reveal theirs. Try this. The next time someone challenges you, don't react immediately. Let a moment of silence hang in the air. Watch how uncomfortable they get, how they start explaining, backtracking, or shifting their stance. The longer you wait, the more control you gain. Most people fear silence. The powerful embrace it. Part 3. Controlling the frame. How to set the rules. Without them noticing, every conversation operates within a frame, an invisible set of rules that dictate who holds the power. Most people don't even realize it's happening. But those who control the frame, they control the conversation. Imagine you're in a debate. The person arguing against you keeps getting aggressive, trying to force you to react emotionally. The weak fall into the trap. They get defensive. They explain. They apologize. The strong, they reframe the situation. Instead of arguing on your opponent's terms, shift the focus. Someone says, "Why are you always so serious?" Instead of defending yourself, flip the frame. "Would you rather I be fake?" Now they are the ones explaining. Julius Caesar was a master of this. When his critics accused him of being too ambitious, he didn't deny it. Instead, he reframed ambition as a virtue. Would you rather Rome be ruled by the weak? His enemies were left scrambling to defend their position. This is what Stoics understood well. Epictetus taught that you cannot control how others see you, but you can control the way you present yourself. By setting the frame, you decide how people react to you. The trick is simple. Never fight within the frame someone else gives you. If someone attacks, don't react, redirect. If someone tries to make you justify yourself, make them do it instead. Those who control the frame, control the game. Part 4. The power of silence, making them speak first. Most people fear silence. They rush to fill every gap in a conversation, afraid of awkwardness. But here's what they don't realize. Whoever speaks first loses control. Negotiators use this all the time. Imagine you're at a job interview and they ask, "What's your expected salary?" The weak immediately answer, afraid of looking uncertain. The smart ones? They pause. They let the silence build. The interviewer, uncomfortable, starts talking again, maybe even raising the number themselves. Why does this work? Because people reveal their true intentions when they feel pressured to fill silence. If you stay calm and wait, they will give away their position. The Stoics mastered this art. Seneca advised never to rush words, but to let fools reveal themselves through their own speech. In a heated discussion, the one who stays silent the longest forces the other to over-explain, second-guess, or even contradict themselves. Try this in your daily life. The next time someone tries to manipulate or pressure you, pause. Hold their gaze. Say nothing. Watch as they scramble to fill the silence. Control the silence, and you control the conversation. Part 5. Redirecting conversations. The art of subtle control. Most people assume that controlling a conversation means talking the most, but the real masters of influence know that direction matters more than volume. If you can subtly guide where a conversation goes, you control the outcome, without the other person even realizing it. Picture this. You're at a social gathering, and someone starts questioning you aggressively. Maybe they're challenging your beliefs or trying to put you on the defensive. Instead of arguing, you simply pivot. You acknowledge their statement without engaging in their frame, then smoothly transition to a different topic. That's an interesting perspective. Speaking of that, have you ever noticed how people react differently to confidence versus arrogance? Suddenly, you've shifted the conversation. They follow your lead, forgetting their original challenge. This is exactly how skilled debaters and politicians control discussions. They never let the other side dictate the battlefield. The Stoics understood this deeply. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself to stay in control of his own reactions, never allowing others to decide his emotional state. The same applies to conversations. If you let someone pull you into their argument, you've already lost. But if you stay composed and redirect, you remain in control. In your next conversation, practice this. Instead of reacting emotionally, take a breath and steer the discussion where you want it to go. Most people will follow without even realizing it. Part 6. The power of silence, making them speak on your terms. People fear silence. In most conversations, the pressure to fill empty space forces them to reveal more than they intended. If you can master the ability to pause at the right moment, you will control the flow of dialogue effortlessly. Imagine you're in a negotiation. The other person makes an offer, expecting you to respond immediately. Instead of speaking, you pause. You look at them, maybe nod slightly, but say nothing. Within seconds, the silence becomes uncomfortable for them, not for you. And guess what happens next? They start talking again, often adjusting their offer just to break the tension. This is a psychological trick used by the most powerful communicators. Salespeople, interrogators, and even therapists use silence to extract more information. It forces the other person to keep talking, often revealing their true thoughts or weakening their position. The Stoic lesson here: control your impulses. Epictetus said, "We have 2 ears and 1 mouth, so that we can listen twice as much as we speak." The less you say, the more power you hold. Instead of rushing to fill silence, let it linger. Watch as the other person unconsciously hands you control. Try it in your next conversation. Make a statement, then stop talking. Hold eye contact. Let the other person react first. You'll be surprised how much control you gain just by doing nothing. Part 7. The illusion of choice. Letting them think they're in control. One of the most effective ways to control a conversation is to make the other person believe they have control. When people feel like they're making their own decisions, they are far more likely to comply. Think about a skilled negotiator. Instead of saying, "Do this," they present 2 options, both leading to the same outcome they want. A manager who wants an employee to stay late won't demand it outright. Instead, they'll ask, "Would you rather finish this today and have a lighter load tomorrow, or come in early and deal with the backlog?" Either way, the task gets done, but the employee feels like they had a choice. This technique is everywhere. Politicians, marketers, and even parents use it daily. A parent who wants their child to eat vegetables won't say, "Eat your broccoli." They'll say, "Do you want broccoli or carrots?" The result is the same, but the child feels empowered by making the decision. The Stoic approach to this is subtle influence rather than force. Marcus Aurelius reminds us, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one." If you want to lead people, let them think they're leading themselves. The key to mastering this technique is preparation. Before any important conversation, think about what you want to achieve. Then, structure your words so that the other person willingly walks in the direction you planned for them, all while believing it was their idea. Part 8. The power of silence. Letting silence work for you. Silence is a powerful tool in conversation. The longer you can hold back from speaking, the more control you gain. People have a natural tendency to fill silence with words, often saying more than they intend. When you pause at key moments, you force others to reveal more of their thoughts, insecurities, and intentions. Take the Stoic practice of observing before reacting. Epictetus often spoke of the importance of maintaining inner peace in the face of external chaos. In conversations, this could mean not rushing to fill every silence. When you remain calm and composed, the other person may feel compelled to keep talking, exposing themselves further. Real-world examples of this can be seen in high-stakes negotiations or interviews. Consider a job interview. The interviewer asks you a question, and instead of rushing to answer, you take a few seconds to think. This pause not only shows confidence, but also puts pressure on the interviewer to give you more information, to fill the silence. It also gives you more time to craft a strategic response. In a confrontation, remaining silent after someone insults or challenges you disarms them. The silence communicates that you are not rattled, and it forces them to justify or explain their actions. This is a tactic often used by leaders and diplomats. They stay composed, giving the opposing side the chance to reveal their position, weakening their own stance without saying a word. The Stoic principle of detachment shines here. By removing yourself from the need to fill every void with words, you gain control of the conversation. You let your calmness, rather than your words, speak volumes. Outro: mastering conversations and taking control. By now, you've learned that controlling a conversation isn't about dominating or manipulating. It's about staying present, reading the room, and using your words strategically. The real power lies in your ability to stay calm, stay composed, and understand the deeper currents of human interaction. Remember, just like the Stoics taught us, it's not about reacting impulsively, but about choosing our responses with clarity and intention. Every word you speak and every silence you maintain has the potential to shift the dynamic in your favor. Now, go out there and take control of your conversations. Whether it's in business meetings, casual chats, or tough negotiations, you hold the power now. You know how to wield it. If you found this video insightful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with others who could benefit from mastering the art of conversation. Keep honing your skills. And remember, the conversation doesn't end here. There's always more to learn. Stay stoic, stay powerful,